Hi, I'm Jason from ablepaws.co.uk, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the SureFeed Microchip Pet Feeder. I'm going to give you some pros and cons after having used this feeder for now a few weeks to enable you to make an informed decision whether this is the right feeder for you. Before we jump into this review, let's take a look at what we actually get in the box with this SureFeed feeder. So let's do that now. So now that we have everything unboxed, so what do we actually get in the box? Well, we have the pet feeder itself, and with this pet feeder you can see it comes standard with a 400 milliliter feeding bowl, which is made of plastic. So they give us an additional feeding bowl that has a split down the middle, so for 2 different compartments. We also get a user manual as well in this packet, along with a rubber mat that can be placed in the base here in order to collect any food. And lastly, we have our RFID collar, which if your pet isn't microchipped, can just attach onto their collar here. So now if we jump into some of the key features of this SureFeed microchip enabled pet feeder, the main difference and the main feature why you would buy this feeder is because it is microchip enabled. So how does this differ from our normal automatic pet feeders? Well, being microchip enabled, this means that the feeder can actually scan your pet's microchip, or if they're not microchipped, they can wear this RFID collar and it will recognize the individual pet. So this is great for multi-pet households. If you do have one pet and you want to give them a specific food, it can actually read that microchip and only open this lid if the correct pet that is registered to this feeder comes in a close proximity. So that's really nice there. So another key feature to note with this feeder that I really liked is that it does have this sealable plastic housing over the bowl. And why I like this is really for 2 main reasons. The first is, as I mentioned earlier, it prevents the wrong pet from getting access to the feed. Potentially if you have a dog and a cat in the house and they're on different food, it prevents that. Also, what it does, by being sealable, it will help to keep the food fresher for longer and preserve it. Just so if you are out for the day and using this to feed your pet, you know that they're going to be getting good quality, fresh food, which is really important. So another really nice feature that I like about this feeder is that it is really easy to clean. So it's made of like a plastic ABS material, and as you can see, it's like really easy to just wipe clean. Furthermore, they do give us this plastic mat that can line the base here of the feeder. So what's really nice here, again, you can just take this mat in and out, clean it down with a wipe or put it in the dishwasher, and it's nice and easy to clean to avoid any mess. What I also really like here, and is a testament to the quality of this product, is that SureFeed Pet Care do give us a 3-year warranty with this feeder. So that means if something does go wrong or you're not happy with the product, you can send it back and return it, just in case something technical goes wrong with it. So that is, again, another really nice feature. Something else that is really important to consider with this feeder, and what I really like about this feeder over other automatic pet feeders, is that you can use both. It is compatible with both dry and wet food. So most automatic feeders that dispense through a little chute, most of them will only be compatible with a dry food, kibble type food. But what's really nice here, again, is that if your dog is on a wet food or your cat is on a wet food, you can still use this automatic feeder. So before we jump in and actually see this pet feeder in action, let's talk a little bit about the design of it. So as you can see, the design is really quite modern and abstract, and that is great if you do have like that modern house and you want the feeder to fit in and not stand out like an eyesore. Again, the colour is really nice and it's minimalistic, so it will just blend in kind of to the background. One thing to note is that on the website, you can buy different colours of this feeder. You can't get that on Amazon, you can only get it in the white version, although it is really nice, but again, something to consider if you do want other colours. Again, if we're talking about the design and the colours, the bowls that they give us are just this grey colour, although you can purchase additional bowls on Amazon, again in different colours. Why I really like the ability to purchase in the different colours is that if you do have multiple pets, and you can assign a colour to each pet. So what's nice here is it will avoid any confusion in your pet, with your pet, just to keep things as simple as possible around feeding time. So now we've taken a look at some of the key features of this feeder, let's now take a look at how to actually practically set it up. So first of all, what you'll need to do is you'll need to get 4 C-cell batteries and place them into your feeder, as this is how it is powered. So as you can see here, there's 2 batteries that go into each side, one on this side and one on that side. Once you've then put in your 4 C-cell batteries, you can then go to the back of the unit and you can see that there are 3 buttons on the back. This first button is to open and close the plastic lid in order to fill and remove the feed bowl and to clean it. Then you have a second button, which is the one you're going to want to do when first setting this up with your pet. And what you'll do is you press this button and it therefore makes the reader start scanning for the microchip. Once then you have some feed in and your pet comes through this loop, it will scan and it will save their microchip. Don't worry though, if your pet isn't microchipped, SureFeed have given us an alternative here where you can place this onto their collar, and as they go through, it will read this RFID tag and act as essentially the microchip for them in conjunction with the feeder. Also, another button we can see here is the training function on the button on the back. What this does is, as the pet comes in and the lid opens, it can create a bit of anxiety because it's a moving object that they're not used to. So what you can do with this training button is adjust how quickly and when and if the lid closes once they've fed, just to reduce the anxiety and reduce changing too much at once, which is a really nice touch here. So if we then flip over to the bottom of the feeder, what you can see here is you have 3 different buttons and with like a little slider. 1, 2 and 3. And what this does is this changes how quickly the feeder will close once your pet has removed their head out of the feeder loop. So if you're on 1, it will close really quick. So it's good if you have multiple pets or one pet that's really greedy. Or if you have like a really anxious pet who's quite scared of the feeder closing around them, then it might be a good idea to put it to number 3, just to increase that time and let them get away before that lid closes, to reduce any anxiety. If you are considering getting this feeder, another thing that you need to think about is that whether you just want to get the standard version like I have here, or the Connect Plus version that integrates with the hub. So the hub version, the Connect version with the hub does come at a much higher cost, but what it does is it allows for this feeder to talk to the hub as a central unit, which then can connect to your Wi-Fi in your house. The benefits of this is that it allows for app integration with the SureFeed app. So again, you get the usual benefits you get to be able to control your feeder when you're away from home. You can schedule meal times, you can and just have that more control over your feeder when you're away from home. So again, if you're at work a lot, not home, something to consider. Now we've discussed about the different models you can purchase of this feeder. Now let's take a look at some of the general pros and cons to enable you to make the right decision for you and for your pet. So some of the pros that I really like, well, the main one is that it is microchip enabled. This means that you do just get that additional control over what pet is feeding. And again, if your pet is on a specific veterinary diet, it does just ensure that they're getting the right food at the right time, which you can't see with other automatic pet feeders. Also, I really like this sleek design. I think it's really modern and it's just going to fit into my house lovely without standing out like an eyesore. Also, again, the different bowls are nice to give you that choice, and the customization ability to purchase as additional extras with the different colors. Again, really nice touch. If we then think about some of the disadvantages of this SureFeed feeder, the first one that I can see off the top of my head is that the bowl is made of plastic. I know that you can purchase additional stainless steel bowls, but it would have been nice to see a stainless steel bowl up front like you see with some other feeders. Why do I say this? Well, having a stainless steel pet bowl to hold the feed is generally more hygienic. It can reduce bacteria buildup and just can be better for your overall health. So something, if you do get this, I would consider maybe getting the stainless steel bowl as an additional extra. Again, another disadvantage, it doesn't include batteries, and there is no dual power supply with this model like there is with some others, so you can't connect this to a mains plug. So again, something to consider here. So one more potential slight disadvantage I see here, and this isn't specific to the SureFeed feeder, this is general to all automatic pet feeders, is that it might create your pet some anxiety around feeding. So what I've actually done is I have created a full guide on my website at www.ablepaws.co.uk in order to give you a guide as to how to introduce your pet to a new feeder, just to reduce the anxiety and to keep them as happy and healthy as possible in the long run. In summary then, would I recommend this SureFeed Microchip enabled pet feeder to a new pet owner or an owner looking for an automatic feeder? Well, in short, yes, I actually really would. I really like the design, as I mentioned earlier, and again, I like the ability for the microchip or RFID collar tag enabled capabilities. So an example I can think of off the top of my head that an owner this would be really good for is, for example, if you had a pet with, say, hyperthyroidism. If your cat does have hyperthyroidism, which is really common in older cats, then they need to be on a specific diet. This diet is usually really low in iodine. So if you then feed all your other cats this low iodine diet, they can actually become deficient if they don't have hyperthyroidism. So that's an example of where I could see this really being a useful tool for any pet owner with multiple pets or on a specific diet. That is my review of the SureFeed automatic microchip enabled pet feeder. If you did find this video useful, then please drop a like under the video, and also why not consider subscribing for more pet product reviews and also advice to keep your pet as happy and healthy as possible. I have lots of other reviews and guides over at my website, ablepaws.co.uk, so also maybe consider heading over there to get some more advice and to see other pet product reviews. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.